In this question, we're asked to name the salts of some acids containing oxyanions. So we're going to go ahead and do that. What I'm going to show you is the newer way of doing this using the hydrogen in the naming. So in this case, we have calcium, two hydrogens, and then a phosphate. The first thing that we need to do is identify the polyatomic ion, which in this case is phosphate, which is the most common oxyanion of phosphorus. So to name this, we simply start at the end, calcium, two hydrogens, so dihydrogen, and then phosphate. Notice that it doesn't matter that this is in parentheses and these are 2 because calcium is a main group metal. We know that that's going to have to be the case in order to get a neutral ionic compound, and all ionic compounds must be neutral for the electrons to be transferred in the right numbers. In the next case, we have a sodium, a hydrogen, and then this polyatomic ion is sulfate, which is again the most common oxyanion of, in this case, sulfur. So this can be called sodium, hydrogen. There's not 2, so we don't use di here. So just sodium, hydrogen, sulfate. Note that this may also be called sodium bisulfate. That's another way that this can also be named. In this case, we have to identify the oxyanion, and it's PO3. Note that PO3 is phosphate, or excuse me, PO4 is phosphate, so PO3 has one less oxygen, so it must be phosphite. So this one is called potassium. Notice you do not use di for potassium, only for hydrogen. But in this case, there's only one, so just one hydrogen. Potassium, hydrogen, phosphite is the name of this. So you only use the di, tri prefixes for hydrogen. You do not use them for the metal. You also have to identify the proper oxyanion and give it the right suffix. So in this case, they were the most common ones, so there are 8s. In this case, we had one less oxygen than the most common one, so it's an ite.